Hello students, hope you all are fine and safe. Today I am going to start new chapter of your 12th class and this is three-dimensional geometry. This is one of the very important chapter of 12th class from the point of view of examination and carrying 10 to 12 marks in the exam. You have already studied some basic concepts of three-dimensional geometry like coordinates of a point in space, distance formula, section formula, equation of line, slope of line in your previous class. To begin with, let me give a brief review of some result that you have studied in your 11th class. First of all, let me discuss with origin, coordinate axis and plane. Look at this figure. You know that x, o, x dash, y, o, y dash, z, o, z dash are three mutually perpendicular lines which intersect each other at O. All these three are perpendicular to each other. Point O is called origin and line x, o, x dash, y, o, y dash and z, o, z dash are called coordinate axis. X, O, x dash is x axis, y, o, y dash is y axis, z, o, z dash is z axis. The plane x, o, y is called xy plane. The plane y, o, z is called yz plane. And x, o, z is called xz plane. These planes divide the whole space into 8 parts. Like as one is, you can see y, o, x dash, another x dash, o, z, one already I have told you y, o, x and so on. So in this way, in total, we are having 8 parts. Now let me discuss the coordinate of any point in any of the plane. First of all, let me take a point P over here in the plane x, o, y. So if we draw perpendicular from this point P on y-axis and on x-axis, then we get, let x is the distance of this point P from origin and y is this distance O from this point on y-axis. And as with respect to z-axis, its coordinate is 0. Therefore, the coordinate of this point will be x, y and 0. Similarly, if any point Q is lying on zx plane, then its y coordinate will be 0. And similarly, if the point lying over here, let the point R over here in yz plane, then its x coordinate will be 0. But if the point is lying somewhere in space, that is, it is having distance from x-axis, y-axis as well as from z-axis, then the coordinate will be x, y, z. So similarly, we can calculate the coordinates of any point in any of the plane. Next, I hope that you know very well about distance formula. It is if there is a point P, x1, y1, z1 and another point Q, x2, y2, z2, then distance between the 2 points PQ is given by square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. Next, I hope that you are well aware about section formula that we have studied in vectors also. I want to make one thing clear over here, that before starting this chapter, you should be very clear with the concepts of vectors, because we will make use of vector algebra over here in three-dimensional geometry. So, let us begin with 12th class with the first topic, which is direction ratios and cosine of a line. As I told you, in case of vectors also, the direction cosines are nothing but simply the cos of angles. Cos of angles made by a vector with the three axes, that is x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Similarly, in case of line, cos of angles made by a line with three axes. With three axes known as direction cosine, or simply we call them as DCs. And DRs means direction ratios are the numbers which are in proportion to the direction cosine. This is the same concept as I told you in case of vectors. Here I want to mention that what will be the direction cosines of axis. Let me first talk about x-axis. So as we know that x-axis makes angle 0 degree, 90 degree and 90 degree. Means with x-axis angle will be 0 degree, with y-axis angle will be 90 degree, and with z-axis angle is 90 degree again, which the x-axis makes with the 3 axis. So therefore according to this we know that cos of angle made by a line with 3 axis. So therefore cos 0 degree is equal to 1, cos 90 degree, or you can say pi by 2, is equal to 0, and cos pi by 2 is equal to 0. So means cos alpha is equal to 1, cos beta is equal to 0, cos gamma is equal to 0. As I told you, sometimes we call them as LMN also. So the direction cosines of x-axis are 1, 0, 0, and same the direction ratios, because there is nothing which we can simplify. So direction cosines and direction ratios of x-axis are 1, 0, 0. Similarly, I hope you can calculate direction cosines of y-axis and z-axis. For y-axis it will be 0, 1, 0 direction cosines as well as direction ratios, and for z-axis we are having 0, 0, 1, and the reason you know very well according to the same reason. One thing more I want to recall you here, as I told you in case of vectors also, that L square plus M square plus N square is equal to 1. Means sum of square of direction cosines of a line is always equal to 1. That is cos square alpha plus cos square gamma beta plus cos square gamma is equal to 1. And you can express it in the form of sine as well. So in that case you will be having 1 minus sine square alpha plus 1 minus sine square beta plus 1 minus sine square gamma is equal to 1. So on simplifying this thing, you will have sine square alpha plus sine square beta plus sine square gamma is equal to 2. So these two results are very important and you should know these two. One more result is over here, and this is like if a line is equally inclined with the 3 axis. If a line is equally inclined with 3 axis, what will happen? The 3 angles alpha, beta and gamma, all 3 will be equal. So what happened? In that case cos alpha is equal to cos beta is equal to cos gamma also. So in this case if we are going to put all equal to cos alpha, then we are getting 3 cos square alpha is equal to 1, and from here we are getting cos alpha is equal to 1 upon root 3, which is also cos beta and cos gamma. So if a line is equally inclined with 3 axes, then we are having direction cosines as 1 by root 3, 1 by root 3 and 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3, 1 by root 3 and 1 by root 3. This is direction cosines of a line which is equally inclined to the 3 axis. Now what about direction ratios? Direction ratios will be 1, 1, 1, because 1, 1, 1 are the number which are in proportion to the to these direction cosines. One thing more I would like to recall you here, which is again from the vectors, that if A, B, C are the direction ratios of a line, then how can we calculate direction cosines? Direction cosines will be A upon square root of A square plus B square plus C square, B upon square root of A square plus b square plus c square, and c upon square root of a square plus b square plus c square. This we are getting from the same concept of vectors, as I explained, that if we are having a vector, suppose A, with its vector components as xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap, then by calculating A cap, we can find out direction cosines. Now let me discuss how to find out direction ratios of a line when two joining points of line are given to you. Let P is one of the point and Q is another point, which are two passing point of a line. Let the coordinate of P are x1, y1, z1 and Q are x2, y2, z2. Then DRs or direction ratios of PQ are simply x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1 and z2 minus z1. This is also the same concept you have studied in vectors, that when two passing point of a vector is given to you, then direction ratios of vector PQ is given by x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1, and vector form is x2 minus x1 I cap plus y2 minus y1 j cap plus z2 minus z1 k cap. So in this case we will not use I cap, j cap, k cap, because here we are talking about line, not a vector. And after calculating direction ratios, you can easily calculate direction cosines of line. So these are some basic concepts about three-dimensional geometry. Let me take some examples on the basis of these topics that I have discussed just now. Very first and the simple problem is, if a line passes through the points minus 3 to minus 5 and 0, 1, minus 6, find direction ratios and direction cosine of a line. So I hope this is very simple question that you can attempt very easily. As I told you, let us suppose that point A is minus 3 to minus 5 and point B is 0, 1 and minus 6. And as I told you that DRs or direction ratios of line AB is nothing but simply x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1 and z2 minus z1. So direction ratios are 0, minus of minus 3 is 3. Then you are getting minus 1 from here and you are getting minus 1 from here. So these are the direction ratios of the line. Now let us find out direction cosines. And direction cosines is simply find out by dividing each number with magnitude of these three. Like direction cosines of AB is equal to 3 upon square root of 9 plus 1 plus 1, then minus 1 upon the same, that is we are getting 11, and again minus 1 upon root 11. Direction cosines is simply 3 upon root 11 minus 1 upon root 11 and minus 1 upon root 11. So this is the way when a line passing through the 2 points and points are given. So easily you can find out direction ratios and direction cosine. There is one more problem. It is also very simple. A line makes angle 45 degree and 60 degree with positive directions of x and y axis respectively. Find the acute angle that it makes with positive direction of z axis. So the angle with x axis and y axis is given to you. So as we know that cos of angle with x axis is cos alpha, that is we can say L, and here angle with x axis is 45 degree. So we are getting 1 upon root 2. Next is M, that is cos of angle with y axis, which is given to us as 60 degree. So we are getting 1 upon 2 over here. Now N we need to calculate. N, let us think it is cos gamma. Okay, we need to calculate this angle gamma. So what to do? Let we use L square plus M square plus N square is equal to 1. Now clearly L is there with us, M is there with us. easily you can find out the value of n, and that will give you the value of gamma, that is angle made by the line with positive direction of z-axis. So all questions based on these concepts are like of the same type, and I hope you can simplify these questions very easily. So let me come to the next topic, and which is equation of line. Now let us study about straight line in space. And we'll study the equation of this straight line in this section. First of all, you should understand that a line remains fixed in the space in two cases. Number, if it passes through given point, or you can say fixed point, and in the given direction, and or you can say in fixed direction. If a point is given to which the line is passing, let P is the point, and direction is also fixed. Suppose this is the direction, this is the direction, then you can't have another line which is passing through P in the same direction. So this is one and only one line. Similarly, the second case, if a line is passing through two given points, let us say A and B. So if a line is passing through two given points, again only one line is possible which passes through the 2 points A and B. So in these two situations, we can have only one line in space, and we'll study equation of line in these two cases. So first of all, let us study the equation of straight line passing through a given point and parallel to a given vector, or you can say in a move in a fixed direction. So let me discuss the equation of straight line passing through a given point and parallel to a given vector. Parallel to a given vector means having a fixed direction. So to explain this, to visualize this, let me draw one figure. Here we have taken x, y, z as a 3 coordinate axis, and one line I have drawn over here. Let me name this line as L. And let this line L passing through the given point A and parallel to vector M. As the topic says, to find the equation of a straight line passing through a given point and parallel to a given vector. So the given point that we have taken is A, and the parallel vector we have taken M. Now let us calculate the equation of line L in this axis. Let us draw vector A, that is the position vector of point A, which is OA, directed from O to A. Next, let us think that B is any other point on line through which the line is passing, and let the coordinate of this point are x, y, z. This may be any point on the line. This is not the fixed point, and let the position vector of this point B is R, directed from O to B, or we can say OB. By using triangle's law of addition, we know that AB can be written as, let me write vector AB can be written as AO vector plus OB vector. So from here you are getting OA as minus A and OB as R vector. So we are getting vector R minus vector A as vector AB. Here we are using triangle's law of addition of vector. As I told you earlier that we'll use vector algebra in 3D. So here I am starting with vector algebra. As we know that this line AB is parallel to this vector M, and we know that the condition of parallelism is, we can write line AB is equal to lambda M, vector AB is equal to lambda M. So comparing these two results, number 1 and number 2, we are getting lambda M is equal to vector R minus vector A, and from here we are getting vector R is equal to vector A plus lambda M, and this is nothing but simply the vector equation of line which passes through a given point whose position vector is A and parallel to the line whose position vector, you can say line M. Let us write this equation in Cartesian form also. As I told you that let R be a vector having R be a position vector of point B having its coordinates as x, y, z. So we can write vector R in the form of components as xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. Similarly, this vector A can be represented in terms of component form if, let me take x1, y1, z1 as the coordinate of this point A, that is the passing point. So we are having x1 I cap plus y1 j cap plus z1 k cap, and let M is having its component form as ai cap plus bj cap plus ck cap. So let us write this as xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap is equal to vector A means x1 I cap plus y1 j cap plus z1 k cap plus lambda times ai cap plus bj cap plus ck cap. So if we compare the coefficient of I, j and k over here, then we get the equation as follows. We will be having x is equal to x1 plus lambda a, y as y1 plus lambda b, and z is equal to z1 plus lambda c. So from here we are getting x minus x1 upon a is equal to y minus y1 upon b is equal to z minus z1 upon c is equal to lambda, and this is the Cartesian equation of line. So let me write, this is Cartesian equation of line, and above that I have calculated R is equal to a plus lambda m is the vector equation of line, and this is when a passing point is given whose position vector is a and a line which is parallel to the required line is given to us. Next, let me discuss about equation of straight line passing through two given points. Here x, y, z are the three axes, O is the origin, and I have taken line AP. The two passing points of the line are A and P, and let the coordinates of point A are x1, y1, z1, and coordinates of point P are x2, y2, z2, and B is any point on the line. A and B, P are the fixed point, whereas B is any point on the line having its coordinate as x, y, and z. Let A vector represent position vector of point A, vector B represent position vector of point P, and vector R represent position vector of point B. So with a little change in the previous expression, let us find out the equation of line AP over here. As we know that AP vector can be written as position vector of P minus position vector of A. You know very well from the vector this thing. So we are having vector B minus vector A as vector AP. Again, using triangle's law of addition in triangle AOB, we are getting AB vector is equal to AO vector minus OB vector, or we can write it as minus vector it is plus and plus vector R. That is, we are getting vector R minus vector A as AB. Now AB and AP are collinear. So the case condition of collinearity is AB is equal to lambda times of AP using the condition of collinearity. So we can replace this AB by lambda AP. So we are getting lambda AP is equal to R minus A. And what is AP? AP we have calculated B minus A. Let us put this value over here. So lambda into vector B minus vector A is equal to R minus A. So from here we are getting the vector equation of line, which is vector R is equal to vector A plus lambda times vector B minus vector A. Means to say we are replacing just vector M, means a vector which is parallel to the given line, with the help of the vector we obtained from the 2 points A and B through which the line is passing. That is by using the condition of collinearity. So this is the vector equation of line passing through 2 points. Now, as in the similar way I have done, I have calculated Cartesian equation. You can calculate Cartesian equation of this line as x minus x1 upon x2 minus x1 is equal to y minus y1 upon y2 minus y1 is equal to z minus z1 upon z2 minus z1 is equal to lambda. So this is the Cartesian equation of the line. This is Cartesian equation of line which passes through 2 given points, and this is vector equation of line which passes through 2 given points. So there is not a big difference. In previous case we were having A over here, B over here and C over here, which is nothing but simply the direction ratios of the line passing through the 2 given points. So you can also find out if 2 passing points of a line are given, then first of all directly calculate A, B, C by calculating x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1 and z2 minus z1 respectively and putting the values over here. This is one and the same thing. Look at this problem. If a line passes through the point minus 3, 2, minus 5 and parallel to the line whose direction ratios are 1, minus 2, 3, find the equation of the line. So this is first type of the line, when one passing point is given and a line parallel to the required line is given. So here simply passing point of line minus 3, 2, minus 5, and as the line is parallel to this line, so the direction ratios will remain same. From the vectors you have studied also that if the lines are parallel or collinear, their direction ratios are same. So therefore direction ratios are 1, minus 2, 3. As we know that equation of line, let me write both the forms. Number 1, let me write vector form. Vector form of line is, as you know, it is r vector is equal to vector A plus lambda m. You should be very confident about it, that what is r, what is A and what is m. Let me repeat it again. R is any point on the line whose coordinates are x, y, z. A is the position vector of point through which the line is passing. So here the line is passing through minus 3, 2 and minus 5. So therefore A vector A is the position vector of this point, let me say A, and M is the vector which we get from the direction ratios. So therefore we are getting R is equal to minus 3i cap plus 2j cap minus 5k cap. This is in place of vector A plus lambda m. M means I cap minus 2j cap plus 3k cap. So this is the vector form. Here this is passing point and here this is the line which is parallel, direction ratios of the line which is parallel to the required line. Now let me write its Cartesian form. Cartesian form is x minus x1. x1 means the first passing point. So minus of minus 3 will be plus 3. So x plus 3 upon A. A means the coefficient of I, or you can say direction ratio A. That is A. A means here I can write 1. Is equal to y minus 2. This 2 I am taking over here upon minus 2. This 2 I am taking over here. Is equal to Z minus Z1. Z1 is minus 5 over here. So we'll write Z plus 5 upon C. C is 3 over here. So it is 3 is equal to lambda. So this is the Cartesian form of the line and this is the vector form of the line. The next problem is, if a line passing through the points this and this, find the equation of line and show that it is perpendicular to z-axis. So the first part is to find the equation of line. As I told you, this is the second case when the two passing point of the line are given to you. You can do this in a very simple way by calculating, first of all, direction ratios of line. Direction ratios of required line, you can say. These are using x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1 and z2 minus z1. So clearly this is minus 4, 2 and 0. These are the direction ratios of the line. Now passing point, let us consider the first passing point. Usually we consider the first passing point when two passing points are given over here. So equation of line in vector form, first of all let me write vector form. If I am talking about, then it is R is equal to A vector plus lambda B minus A. So clearly B minus A already we have calculated. This is minus 4, 2 and 0 and passing point are 1, 2, 3. So vector A is R is equal to vector A is I cap plus 2j cap plus 3k cap. This I have taken from here, the passing point vector, and position vector of B minus A that we have calculated is minus 4 I cap plus 2 j cap plus 0 k cap, and no need to write this 0 k cap. So this is the equation of line in vector form. Now let me write the line in Cartesian form. Cartesian form is x minus x1. x1 means the passing point, that is 1 upon A. A I have calculated minus 4 over here is equal to y minus y1, that is 2 upon 2. This 2 I have taken is equal to z minus 3 upon 0 is equal to lambda. So this is the Cartesian form of the required line. Now next we need to prove that this line is perpendicular to z-axis. Here again we'll use the concept of vectors. As just I explained that direction ratios or cosines of z-axis are, if you remember, these are cos 90 degree, cos 90 degree and cos 0 degree, means 0, 0 and 1, that I have explained just in the starting. Let us use concept of vector again over here. As in case of vector you have studied A dot B is equal to 0, means A is perpendicular to B. Okay, so here if we calculate the direction ratios of line, these are minus 4, 2 and 0, and direction ratios of z-axis are 0, 0 and 1. So whenever we are talking about that line is perpendicular or parallel to any given line, then we are always talking about direction ratios of the line, because जब एंगल की बात होगी तो हमें direction ratios की ही बात करनी होगी. So if the dot product of these two vectors minus 4 I cap plus 2 j cap and 0 I cap, 0 j cap and plus k cap is 0, then we can say that this line is perpendicular to z-axis. And clearly we are having minus 4 into 0 plus 2 into 0 plus 0 into 1. We are getting the result as 0. So therefore A dot B is equal to 0. Hence line is perpendicular to z-axis. In similar way you can do all the questions. All the questions are very simple, and I hope you understood the concepts very well. Practice a number of problems from the same topic to master the topic. In my next video, I will explain about length of perpendicular from a point to a line, concept of skew lines. Next, shortest distance between two skew and shortest distance between two parallel lines. So, till then, stay tuned and keep learning.